won't back down.
This world from dragging me down, gonna stand my ground.
Hello, Juneau. Good afternoon. I'm Senator Johnny Ellis, leader of the Senate Democrats. We had 9 votes in the Alaska State Senate against Governor Parnell's oil wealth giveaway. And we're here today to say, it's our future, it's our oil. It's our oil, it's our future. Say it with me. It's our oil, it's our future. It's our oil, it's our future. We have rallies going on today here in Juneau, the capital city of Alaska, in Anchorage, in Fairbanks, in Homer, and in Sitka, and other places around the state. Alaskans are taking a stand against Governor Parnell's multi-billion-dollar oil wealth giveaway. Today, I welcome you to a day of resistance, a day of opposition to an epically bad deal. Now, the answer to the question I'm about to pose is either heck no or hell no, depending on your preference. And the question is this: would Governor Bill Egan or Governor Wally Hickel or Governor Jay Hammond put up with an epically bad ripoff of the state of Alaska, a bad business deal? Would they put up with it? Hell no! That's the right answer. Today we channel those pro-Alaska leaders of Egan, Hickel, and Hammond. I would have never thought that I would be praising Wally Hickel in public, but you know, times have changed, and Wally Hickel would have stood up for what's best for Alaska. We didn't have to agree on every single issue with Egan, Hammond, or Hickel, but by God, they would have stood up for Alaska. And that's what we're doing here today. I want to give a shout out to an elected official who's here. He's an assembly member here in the capital city of Juneau. Let's hear it for Assembly Member Jesse Keel. Jesse, big wave. I'm also joined here by some real heroes of the oil tax debate in the Alaska legislature. These are people who fought for your fair share, for a fairer share for Alaska's oil resources. We were ripped off for 30 years. ACES came along, and an architect of that was Senator Hollis French, Representative Berta Gardner, now Senator Berta Gardner, and Senator Bill Wielechowski. Let's hear it for these heroes. As I said, he was a hero of the oil tax debate. Representative Beth Kurtula, the Democratic leader in the House, is tied up on the floor. If she gets out here, we'll recognize her. But at this time, we're going to turn to a real hero of Alaska, Senator Hollis French.
Thank you, Johnny, and it's nice to see you here. I'm hoping that some of our House friends can come down, because the modern effort to reform oil taxes began in a frozen parking lot in Anchorage, Alaska in 2004, when Les Guerra came up to me and said, "Don't you think we should fix our oil tax?" Les Guerra brought House members to the fight. Les Guerra started this fight, and look where we are now. His fight that he started in 2004 culminated in 2007 when we put a fair oil tax on the books. It was a fantastic era. It was a fantastic accomplishment. And for the last 2 years, we stood up against the combined forces of the governor, the House Republicans, and every oil company in this state, as the bipartisan coalition stood up and said no. We said no to a giveaway for 2 years, and they had to break us through a redistricting effort and thousands and millions of dollars of industry investment against the people who were standing here trying to knock us out of office. They didn't get there, but they got the 11th vote. Now you have to stand up, and you have to make your voices heard, and you have to let the governor on the 3rd floor know this is a bad idea. Do you like this idea? Are we going to stand up for this? Are we going to fight this giveaway? I am absolutely thrilled to be standing here in front of you. I can feel the power coming from this community. I could feel it 2 days ago in the municipal elections in Anchorage. I believe this state is getting ready to take a turn for the better. I believe this state has had it with giveaway policies. I believe this state is ready to fight back and claim a fair share for the working people of this state, and it starts with a fair oil tax. This fight is a long way from over. I am absolutely thrilled to be standing here in front of you with these people, these heroes. I'm proud to be one of them. Thanks so much for your time. Let's get out there and let's make our voices heard.
Thank you, Hollis French. I'm honored to served with this gentleman, and we're lucky to have him. A real hero, an Alaska hero, Representative Les Guerra.
Thank you very much for coming out. Before I get into my speech, so in 2004, I thought, well, God, we're getting shortchanged on oil. We have a 0% tax on most fields. I'm going to stand up against Exxon, the Voice of the Times, Conoco, and BP. Can somebody do this with me? And Hollis French said yes. Thanks to Hollis French. This is what this bill is all about. It's a $1 or $2 billion giveaway that says to Exxon, Conoco, and BP, here's the money. You can spend it anywhere in the world you want. Is that a good policy? No! We should treat our shareholders the same way Exxon, Conoco, and BP treat their shareholders. We should say, if we give you the money, what will you do? Exxon, Conoco, and BP, if they had a contract worth $1 billion or $2 billion, would say, we want something in return. The governor says, here's the money, we don't really care. Is that a good policy? No! Is it a good policy to give $1 or $2 billion away a year when we're in the 4th year of teacher cuts? We're going to threaten to lay off law enforcement, or we're going to threaten to cut back on construction jobs. This is Alaska's fiscal cliff. Is that a good idea? No! The Democrats have said, we want oil tax reform that works, not oil tax reform that's a sheer giveaway. We've said, if you produce here, we'll give you reduced tax rates. We'll say, if you produce heavy oil, we'll give you reduced tax rates. We say, if you explore and find new oil, we'll give you reduced tax rates. If you perform, we'll give you reduced tax rates. That's what a corporation would do. That's what a board of directors would do. That's what we as your board of directors are doing. We're saying, with something in return, yes. With nothing in return, no. Is that a bad idea? No! That was a confusing question. I was testing you. But for $1 billion or $2 billion a year, is it okay to tell Exxon, Conoco, and BP you can spend that money in Libya or Russia? Is that okay? We want that money spent in Alaska. That's why our bill does that, but that's why their bill creates a fiscal cliff for the state of Alaska. Thank you for coming. There are a lot of great speakers. I've got to run down to the Chamber of Commerce and give a similar talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Les Guerra. Our next speaker is retired Pastor Paul Barron, who's been a member of the Juneau community for over 20 years and has traveled and worked extensively in southeast and interior rural Alaska. He's here today to tell you why he opposes the governor's oil wealth giveaway. Pastor Barron.
First of all, let's begin with our state constitution. What does it say? Does it say, the legislature shall provide for the utilization, development, conservation of all the natural resources belonging to the state for the maximum good of the oil companies? No! What does it say? The people! For the maximum good of the people. Vic Fisher, one of the few remaining delegates to the State Constitutional Convention, said just recently, do not allow ourselves to become captive to out-of-state companies. That's what we're dealing with. Yeah. Now, look at the facts. The North Slope oil is finite. It's not forever. It has slowed its rate of decline since ACES became our state tax. Before 2007, it was declining. After 2007, that rate of decline has slowed 1/4 to 1/3. Since 2007, Alaska, the oil companies have added more than 5,000 jobs. They have spent more than $1.3 billion more annually each year. This is from the McDowell Research Group. Now, do the oil companies really care about the teachers? No. The mentally that need help? No. Let me me ask you, remember what the Exxon Valdez court fine was? $5 billion. $5 billion. Exxon litigated, and paid slightly over 10%. And then they didn't even want to pay the interest on that 10% so many years later. Let's look ahead. Our country, and much of the world, has gone through the greatest recession since the Great Depression of the 1930s. During that time, the economies have slowed, the thirst for oil has decreased, but the price of oil has stayed consistently high. The U.S. economy is revving up. The world economy is growing. What will happen to the consumption of oil? What will happen to the price of oil if we allow ourselves to be locked in to a flat and regressive tax without progressivity? What are we doing to our state? Stupid. Let's look back at that Constitution. To provide for the maximum benefit of whom? The people. There's one major power you and I have. Contact your legislators. Do it today. And tell them if they vote for the giveaway, then you will not vote for them. That's your power.
Thank you, Pastor Barron. Next, I want to introduce a fellow who represents in the Alaska State Senate, the North Slope in Northwest Alaska. This is where the resources come from. He voted the right way. He was one of the Magnificent Nine. Give a great Juneau Capital City welcome to Senator Donnie Olson. We're going to take a social media moment here, folks. I want you to hold up. If you have a smartphone, hold it up for me. Let's hold it up. I'm going to ask you if you have, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, if you have a smartphone in your possession, please take a photo of this crowd so you can share it with your friends and family in your social network. Take a picture and post it to Facebook. Spread the message of resistance and opposition to Governor Parnell's multi-billion-dollar oil wealth giveaway. We can trend. We can be on Facebook. We can be out there spreading the message to Alaskans of every stripe across the state. And let me say, if you are a Democrat, a Republican, a Green Party, unaffiliated, agnostic, a Republican in recovery and rehab, you are welcome. You are welcome here. You would be shocked by the number of Republicans that are scared to speak out, but believe that this oil wealth giveaway is a gigantic ripoff. Encourage people to speak out and speak up before it's too late. Next, I want to ask if you all have received your check. Oh, okay. We're staying flexible here on this schedule. It's changing as we go. But at this point, I'd like to introduce Madeline Handley and her friends from Juneau Public Schools, Nora and Catherine. These students rushed to complete their math standardized test this morning here in Juneau. That's a true fact. So that they could come to the rally because these Juneau students can do the math on the oil tax bill, unlike some legislators. So please give a warm welcome to these Juneau students and a special message to each of you. Madeline Handley, please come forward.
If you don't get the best price you can for our oil and continue to save for the future, when my friends and I graduate from college in 2020, there will be no savings and less oil. So our oil and our savings will be almost gone. There will be no jobs for my friends and I here. This is our future. Please don't give it away. Juneau Public Schools are producing a quality product. But you know,
If you give away $6 billion over the next 5 years, there won't be any money for Juneau Public Schools. So what the heck? We've got to make sure we stop a bad bill. So thank you, Madeline Handley and your friends, for speaking up for your future. Next is someone who carried, along with Senator Gardner and Senator French, he carried the debate on the Senate floor. It's on YouTube. You should all go and watch the debate performance. And it was a magnificent speech in defense of Alaska for our oil taxes. He's a state senator. He's been serving here a number of years. He's a champion for Alaska's working people, the working men and women and all Alaskans. A true Alaska hero, Senator Bill Wielechowski.
Hello, Juneau! Hello to our friends in Anchorage! Hello to our friends in Fairbanks! Hello to our friends in the rest of Alaska! Senator Ellis talked a little bit about my speech on the floor. It was a 42-minute speech. I got a little bit of ribbing for that. But this bill is going to push about $2,000 a minute over to the oil industry for the next 6 years. So I figured I saved the state about $84,000. This bill pushes $2.5 million every day for the next 6 years. That's your money, that's our money, over to the richest, wealthiest corporations in the history of the world. That's about $35,000 per family of 4. Every Alaskan family will be giving up $35,000 or so to the richest, wealthiest corporations in the history of the world with nothing in return. Is that outrageous? Yes! Are we going to stand for that? No! I asked the governor a couple months ago if he would debate me on this issue. You're still up there, Governor, anytime. And I think the reason that he won't do it was evident on the Senate floor. The reason is because they have no facts to support what they're doing. The reason is because jobs are at all-time highs. Right now you have more people working on the North Slope than ever in the history of the state of Alaska. I just put a press release out today. In fact, 13,900 every single year since we passed ACES. We've hit all-time highs in jobs. And some people like to say, oh, it's maintenance. Well, you know who disagrees with that? Governor Parnell, who put out a PowerPoint presentation just back in 2010 saying it wasn't maintenance. We've got all-time highs in investment every single year since we passed ACES. We've got all-time highs in the number of companies doing business. We've increased the number of companies doing business. You know, you hear all these statements. Well, all the jobs are going to North Dakota, all the investments going to North Dakota, all the companies are leaving Alaska. We've increased the number of companies doing business here in Alaska by 383% since we passed ACES. We keep hearing profits are down. We've got to do something. The poor oil companies aren't making any money in Alaska. You can look at the SEC statements they file and see they've made $36 billion since we passed ACES. That's pretty decent profit, right? Yeah. You can look at their rates of return. You put your money in the bank, you're lucky if you get 1%. You put your money in the stock market, you're lucky if you get 6-8%. The rate of return on the North Slope at Prudhoe Bay, according to the governor's own experts, is 65% at today's prices. That's higher than the rate of return in North Dakota. That's higher than the rate of return in Canada. That's higher than the rate of return in Norway. We've got some of the highest rates of return in the world. We've got some of the most profitable fields in the world. Are we going to sit back and give our money away? No! This isn't about production. This is not about production.
You know why we know this isn't about production? Because if it was production, we would do what any business in the world would do, which is make them guarantee that they produce oil in exchange for giving them billions of dollars in tax breaks. And we've tried that. We've proposed amendments that require them to increase production, and they've been voted down, every single one of them. This isn't about production. This is about a giveaway. This is about giving away your money, our money, Alaskans' money. Is that the right thing to do? No! Are we going to take it? No! This is a terrible bill. This is an outrageous bill. Is this bill a giveaway? Yes! Are we going to let them give it away? No! Are we tired of elected officials not listening to us? Yes! Are we going to stop this bill? Yes! We need to let them know on the 3rd floor. This bill's going up to the Finance Committee on the 5th floor. We need to send them a message right now. Because they're listening. They're watching us on TV. They're listening up in their offices. So whose oil is it? It's our oil! 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 Thank you. What we need to do now, our job is not done. Democracy is not a spectator sport. We can't sit back while our elected officials give our resources away, violate our Constitution, violate the oaths of office they took. We are not going to take that. We cannot take that. We have to let them know this is unfair. We have to let them know we are not going to sit back and do it. Contact your legislator. Send them an email. Call their office. We cannot sit back and do that. Thank you.
You guys agree with Bill Wielechowski? Let's hear it. Come on. Come on. Well, what do we want you to do? We want you to talk to your friends and neighbors and your family. We want you to follow us, the Alaska Senate and House Democrats, on Twitter and on Facebook. We want you to send these photos, text these photos around to people all over the state, so we can feel like the Alaska family that's going to stand up for itself against an epically bad ripoff of the people of Alaska.
Where's Dennis Egan?
Well, Dennis Egan, maybe if he can hear our voice, he'll come out and stand with us. But that's a question you can ask him directly. We appreciate all of you who've been here today, and we've got a couple more pieces of business before we go. We have distributed to many of you social media contact information. We'd like to get your email addresses. If you didn't hear from us on email, we'd like to get that address so we can stay in touch and keep this political action and resistance going. This is a day of opposition and a day of resistance, and we want to stay in touch with you. We also want you to hold up the checks that have been, you have a small version of the check. We're going to rip these up in just a moment. Don't do so yet. But I'm making a plea for the capital city that you not litter. Please tear up the check, put it in your pocket. There may not be enough to go around, so you may have to share it with your neighbor. But don't throw the paper on the ground. We're good citizens. Put the pieces in your pocket and use it as a reminder to stay involved in the opposition and the resistance to the oil wealth giveaway. We're going to bring the big check down now in front of the podium. Staff folks, come on down so you can be in the center of the photo. Thanks to Hollis French and Bill Wielechowski. Berta Gardner, you want to get in there as well? Any other elected officials who are here are welcome to join in.
Bill, tell them to mail it to your legislator. Can't have it, mail it to your legislator.
Yeah.
We definitely want you to contact members of the State House because that's who is going to make the decision. The Senate has voted. It was 11-9. The House vote could be very close, and we need you to contact members of the House of Representatives and the governor to express your strong opposition to Governor Parnell's oil wealth giveaway. So everybody hold up your check. This is the check for billions of dollars out of your state treasury to the richest corporations in human history. It's unjustified, it's outrageous, and we oppose it. So I'm going to give a countdown of 3, 2, 1, rip, and we're going to rip all in unison. So get ready to the media. Anyone taking photos for social media, get ready, because here we go. This is an act by Alaskan citizens in opposition and resistance to Governor Parnell's oil wealth giveaway. 3, 2, 1, rip. That's not a sign of civil disobedience. That's a sign of political activism. Alaskans standing up for Alaskans. Let's cue the music. Let's have a good time. Thank you all very much. Juneau, the capital city of Alaska, you are fantastic. Thank you all very much. Woo!
Yeah.